think about my kids watching TV, they're so much less interested in TV than they are in video games.
Oh my God, we created a total monster. Like, he was waking up going, pets, pets.
She has a relatively limited attention span, and then she just becomes like the zombie, you know,
My eldest son would watch Dinosaur. Remember Aladar? He would watch Dinosaur over and over and over again. Hi, this is Mindy Roberts from themommyblog.net. Today I want to ask you all about TV and your children. It's our own little shameful secret. I think we all let our kids watch a lot more TV than we'd admit to. And it's probably equal to the amount of TV that we watched when we were kids. So let's not pretend that it's going to harm our children and it didn't harm us, right? I think that as long as they make it clear what they're allowed to watch and what they're not allowed to watch, and for how long you're allowed to watch it, and what they have to do with the rest of their time. They have to have some active time and they have to have some reading time. But I do believe there's a lot to be learned from TV. What do you do in your house to limit the watching of TV, the inactivity, and what do you do to compensate?
Mindy, I'm glad you brought this up because I think this is something that we all think about, wrestle with, wonder about. My issue with TV and with media entertainment in general is that it has the effect of rendering everything else sort of boring. So my kids, when presented with either TV or, you know, filled with Legos or something like that, they're always going to choose the TV.
You said that I bet a lot of us let our kids watch more TV than we admit to our friends. Well, here's I guess a total nerdy confession. I let my daughter watch a lot less TV than I admit to my friends. She had no TV in her life at all until she was about, I don't know, 2.5, maybe 3. Yeah, I'm you know, a TV disciplinarian. It's my thing. Bedtime and not a lot of TV.
Aja, what you were saying about how kids, if given the choice between watching the TV or building Legos, I feel like that same thing is true for adults. Like, if you gave me the option of doing something really active, like sewing curtains or reorganizing my closet or watching Oprah, I know what I'm gonna choose at the end of a long day, right? So.
But a lot of people feel that, you know, what's on TV today is extremely harmful. But I do believe there's a lot to be learned from TV for children. I think it increases their verbal ability. I personally think that watching Looney Tunes and Warner Brothers perfects comedic timing. And, sorry, Steve Martin joke. And you would know that if you listen to Wild and Crazy Guy.
You know, in school they talk about the shows and Hannah Montana and all this kind of stuff, and I never want my daughter to be like the odd one who's like, well, my parents don't let me watch any television, so I don't know what you're talking about. I would hate that. I would totally hate that.
I noticed one day that he was identifying letters, like on the fridge magnets we have, or just on signs and things like that. And I turned to Brian and I was like, did you teach him that? And he said, no. And I asked the sitter, you know, are you teaching him his letters? And she's like, no. And I realized, oh, it's not that we're educating him, it's that he's watching too much TV. He's been watching too much Sesame Street and now he knows his alphabet. So what we have decided is that he can have as much educational TV as he wants.
I find it easier for my kids if I set limits. If I give them 1 hour, you can either take this hour to watch TV or play video games or use the computer, but always homework first. I think if you set rules, you'll be fine. That's what I try to do.
We have to focus more on the content on the internet more than TV. We watch TV on the internet now, and so our kids are very familiar with the web browser, how to Google for information that they want. They know how to find what they want, and so that's where we have to focus our attention in terms of helping them navigate a much bigger, wider expanse of media than really just the television can offer.
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.